Currently heating up the water for the black tea. For the Barm Brack, I've got some orange spice black tea because a lot of the recipes I've found called for a lot of orange zest, but I have no orange zest. I didn't make any, so I'm going to actually just use the orange spice tea, because what I'm going to do with that, I'm supposed to actually take the golden raisins I have, and I've also got Zante currants, and I'm going to soak those overnight in cold black tea, and then we'll actually make the Barm Brack tomorrow morning. So a couple more, well, I gotta wait for the water to boil to make the tea. Alright, the water is finished boiling. It is actually very, very hot. I've unwrapped the tea, which was they actually had wrapped up in individual foil packages. Unbelievably fragrant. It does smell like orange zest. So I think I got my money's worth, and I think I made a great decision actually buying that. Hopefully this is really the kind of the lengthiest process. I've got to make the tea, cool it down, and then add the raisins and the currants, and then tomorrow I'll start on the Barm Brack, the traditional Celtic Halloween yeast bread. So anyway, okay, I've made the tea and I've tried to make it as strong as possible. It's gotten pretty cool because I've let it sit here for a while. Got the phone in a while. Hi Dutch, how you doing? So, I've never actually experienced currants before. They are these tiny little things. Very, very tiny. But what we're going to do is basically try to rehydrate them. We're going to leave them overnight. We're going to put both the currants and the sun-made raisins. Well, it's supposed to be a sun-made raisin. A little dark, but you know, you see that little bit of like golden raisin, and we'll put those in there, and then tomorrow we'll empty out all the liquid and we'll use that in the Barm. Okay, it is the morning, and the stuff that I put away for this, it looks kind of nasty right now, but I do have the raisins and the currants in the black tea. They actually rehydrate a lot. We'll empty that out. I've also got my butter, my 3 cups of flour, I think it's 1/4 cup sugar, and then a whole bunch of spices, which include half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, half a teaspoon of ground cloves, some ground allspice, half a teaspoon of ground allspice, and then half a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, just because I like that flavor. So the traditional recipe for Barm Brack does not actually contain pumpkin pie spice. Once again, this is for me. I've also got a 1.5 cups of water that I'm going to heat up in the microwave, and then add that to 2 tablespoons of sugar, which I'm going to add to the yeast for 10 minutes. So I've got all, oh, and I've also got my eggs that I'm going to crack and beat. So first things first, I'm going to empty out the tea, and then I'm going to add my dry ingredients and the butter together to form the crumb mixture. But for that I'm going to need my hands, so I'm going to set you up. Okay, I've put the butter, I've cut it up and put it into a mixing bowl. I'm going to put in my flour and my sugar. So I don't think I'm supposed to put in the spices yet. Yeah, I'm supposed to actually mix this with my hands to make crumb-like mixture. So I'm actually trying to break down the butter and mix everything together. So I'm going to keep on doing this. This might take a little minute. I might speed up the film, but you're gonna get to watch. Okay, now I'm going to add the spices and the raisins and currants into the mixture, and we're going to gradually fold those in so that get those well mixed. I started the yeast. I put it in lukewarm water with the couple of teaspoons of sugar. So, and I've given that 10 minutes. I might have to turn off the camera before it gets to there, but I still need to do that, and I need to beat the eggs. So, because that's the next step, we're going to add the yeast mixture and the beaten eggs to this. So. Ooh. Anyway, we'll be right back. When you're adding beaten eggs, you want to make sure that you do it right away. You don't want to beat them and then let them sit there, because the main point, there's a timer for letting the yeast sit. The main point of beating eggs is to add air to the mixture. So you want to make sure that you're actually doing it right after you've beaten them. So I've made a little pit right here in the center where I'm going to add the eggs. And my lukewarm mixture of yeast. Yeast always looks nasty to me. I don't know what it is. Probably the yeast, but. And then we're going to actually fold the mixture together. So. And you want to work it until it gets to a pliable mixture. We might have to add more flour after a while. So work it down the sides, because when it gets to that mixture, we're actually going to take it out of the, and yeah, we're going to have to add some more flour to this. So because we're going to actually have to take it out, and we're going to work it and knead it on a floured surface for about 10 minutes. So let me get some more flour and I'll be okay. So I am just going to add this bit by bit. This may take a while, so if I speed this up, that's what I'm doing. Alright, it's getting in the consistency of kind of the dough we want. We want it to be a workable dough, but it's not there yet. So I need to get in front of it and out of the camera, so excuse me for a minute, guys. Okay. Doing this and working the camera and stuff is extremely hard. Trying to keep the camera clean. But I've been kneading this for about 5 minutes on the floured surface. And I'm going to, until it, we're works into a pliable dough. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a bowl, cover it, and let it sit for 10 minutes and rise. And then I'll take it out again and knead it again, and then put it in a bundt pan so I can get the loaf that I want. So, but to be honest, you don't want to probably wash this, because I'm just going to sit here and fold it over and over again and knead it and keep kneading it over and over and over. So I'll be back. Okay, I finished kneading and I put it back in the bowl. What I'm going to do now is actually just cover it up with a towel and let it sit there. I believe our recipe called for 30 minutes, but it's probably going to double in size, and then I'll take it out and I'll knead it again. Alright, we've let it rise for an hour, and now we've returned it to the breaded work area, and we're going to knead it again. So this is going on for 10 minutes, so I'm going to let y'all. Okay, now what I've done, I've got a non-stick bundt pan, and even though it is non-stick, I put butter in it, kind of buttered the sides to kind of, because that's the way it used to be cooked, you know, a long time ago, and I want to kind of try to stick to that as much as possible. So now I'm going to get it into the pan. Probably need to work it out a little bit more, because we're gonna, what we'll do is we'll put it in the pan and we'll let it rise for 1 more hour, and then we'll cook it. So this might take me a minute. Sorry to keep putting you all on hold. Okay, I've kneaded again and put it in the bundt pan, and we're going to cover that and let that rise again for an hour. I'll probably turn this off, but start heating again in a little bit. But before we put it in the oven, we're going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees, and then we'll cook it for 30 minutes. Okay, it's ready to go. Try to even it out a little bit there. But I'm going to, I've heated up to 400 degrees. So I'm going to pop it in the oven and set my timer for 30 minutes. Oop. It helps if you start a timer and not the actual microwave oven. So, see you in 30. You won't believe how wonderful it smells in here. Wow. Mmm. Okay. So, now that's done, I've actually I took some time and wrapped some sausage for sausage bugs, and I'm going to put those in while the brick back. So this is the brick brack. Like I said, it smells delicious. So I'm going to let it cool, and then I'll probably be getting it out onto a plate, and then I'll take it over to my parents' house tomorrow, to where my nieces and nephews will come and do some trick-or-treating around my parents' neighborhood. and my brothers and I will have Barm Brack. This is the final version of the Barm Brack. Now normally, per tradition, you know, this cake you would actually shove little pieces to be a fortune-telling cake. So you would, on the underside, you know, shove a ring, a rag, like a little tiny piece of cloth to resemble a rag, a little stick, and some of the other pieces I'll put because when you cut and slice it, whoever gets the penny, of course, has good fortune for the year. Whoever gets the rag would, of course, get is supposed to live in poverty. Who gets the ring would marry within the next year. It's so, you know, it's something that the Irish and the Scottish actually did, you know, around the Halloween time. So this is a traditional Barm Brack, excuse me. It's a fruit bread that you normally cut and sliced. Normally you want to toast the slices and serve them with butter along with some good tea. It'd be really great because it smells wonderful. It'd be great on a nice cold evening like we've been getting here lately. So everybody's doing great, and happy Halloween.